trusted news source. This is Channel 8 News Midday.
Happening tonight, the first high school football game of the season. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. I'm Andrew Ward. We're hoping for plenty more moments like this year. Citizen journalist Cindy sending us this video on our Now Local News app of our game-winning field goal by Standing Bear to pick up their first ever victory as a school. The Grizzlies will take on the Lincoln Northwest Falcons tonight at 7 o'clock. It's one of just 5 games statewide for what the NSAA is calling week 0 of the season. This is also the first year both of these schools will be competing in Class A. Sports Director Will Charlton's going to be there live at Seacrest Field tonight at 5 with a preview of the matchup. And then you can check out the Sports Zone at 10 for complete highlights and reaction from Game 1 of the high school football season. Meanwhile, the trainers are also getting ready for this football season. Holdridge EMS squad training on sports and football injuries with the help of Phelps Memorial Health Center physical therapy team. They're going to provide emergency medical standby for all their home football games this year. They're wishing everyone a fun, safe, and successful season. And as the high school sports season kicks off, send us any videos you can take of these games on our Now Local News app, like citizen journalist Melanie here capturing those players out on the field. We want to be able to feature your athlete of any sport, and the best way to do that is on the app. Then make sure to tune in next Friday as well for our morning show Pep Rally as we get you ready for our game of the week. But before you head out for that football game, we're tracking potential for severe weather. Here's a live look outside now at our Allo Communications camera. It doesn't look like much is going to happen here. If we can get that. There it is. All right, lots of sunshine here, but let's get to meteorologist Houston Hall with a look at that storm threat timeline here for us. Good morning, Houston.
Yes, good morning. Yeah, we do have a few isolated storms just actually to the north of us, and they've been hanging around all through this morning, and they've been posted up and down. They've had their times. We've got temperatures in the low 80s, a light wind, which might hinder some severe weather potential going into this afternoon and evening. Take a look. We got a little isolated storm development just near Norfolk, off towards the east of Norfolk. This is all moving its way down towards the southeast, so if you look north and if you're in Lincoln, probably see some cloud tops there. Omaha, Hooper could be seeing some shower and thunderstorm activity here in the next hour or two. Down towards the southwest, we're looking at Lexington, a little bit of storm development going through Curtis, as that's an outflow boundary due to this storm, which is currently about to make its way through Broken Bow and Custer County. There's your level 2 slight risk, driven by some large hail and damaging winds. 73 where the rain has fallen in North Platte, Thetford. 74 in Norfolk. We got the moisture, and it is very humid really across much of the whole state. Going into the next few hours, 1 to 2, it looks like those storms will make their way just between North Platte, Grand Island, and even out towards eastern Nebraska. That's where we start to see that scattered to widespread shower and thunderstorm activity. Should be maybe on the less severe side. The overnight threat is going to be really the main severe threat. So if you have any plans really after midnight, we'll show you the forecast in a few.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Houston. Let us know when the weather does hit your area. Join us, or excuse me, just download our Now Local News app and submit your video safely of all types of weather that may hit your area, like these citizen journalists of the heavy rain we got earlier this week. Scan the QR code on your screen, and your videos might get featured right here on Channel 8. Right now, the city of York is making big changes to its streets. City Council approving an ordinance that will allow UTVs to be driven within city limits. It's something that has been debated for months. Those in favor say this is important for farmers in the area.
Our intention is not to tear up the town. It's not to, you know, that's not what we want it for. We want it so we can enjoy them. We want it so the farmers that use them can come to town.
Against the ordinance say it puts a bigger strain on law enforcement, which is already short-staffed, as we reported earlier this week.
Safety concerns fire department, the police department. I think they are off-road vehicles, and that's where they should stay.
Council members approving to allow UTVs within city limits, but drivers will be required to register their vehicle to be legally operated. The city sharing this on Facebook after the meeting, saying more information about the registration process will be posted soon. Developing now a goal to make Lincoln an even safer place. The city asking people what would make them feel more secure in the Safe System survey. People repeatedly bringing up safer crossings, better lighting, and better connected sidewalks. So now the city is asking Lincolnites what those improvements should look like. Channel 8's Nick Erickson has the details.
Safe environments for pedestrians and drivers and inviting public spaces are crucial for a community to thrive. Tonight, Planning and Development Services, along with others, held an open house asking the public for feedback on new streetscape plans for two neglected Lincoln areas, 33rd and A Streets and 40th Street and Normal Boulevard. The plans are to improve pedestrian experience, making the surrounding areas safer and more comfortable. Colin Christopher with Lincoln Planning and Development Services says that his goal is to create an experience.
The idea is that we've got this, a number of neighborhoods surrounding this business district. And if we can make it easier to walk or bike to the businesses, that there's a benefit there. The goal is that, that would lead to more economic development in the area and support for the businesses themselves.
Christopher adds that these areas have been in need of investment for over 10 years, with buildings being ran down and sidewalks being too close to the road. Now city officials turn to the public after 6 months of planning for their opinions on what needs to be done. Roberto Partida, a transportation planner for Lincoln and an LTU representative, says that ensuring traffic safety could bring new life and more people into the area.
That then in turn makes that corridor more inviting, which then generates more folks, more foot traffic to your businesses and just makes it that much more inviting. I've been to that coffee shop off the corner of 33rd and A, and it's a solid little spot. I'm excited to see what comes next.
The overall transformation could take up to 7 years, with smaller projects being completed sooner. Reporting on the corner of 33rd Street and A Street, I'm Nick Erickson, Channel 8 News.
Breaking now, 8 people are dead after a plane crash in remote Alaska. We're told the fatal incidents happened Thursday afternoon local time. The plane was headed to Cape Newenham long-range radar site from Anchorage. The FAA says there were no survivors. The names of the victims will not be released until 24 hours has passed. In a statement shared on social media, Alaskan Senator Lisa Murkowski writing, quote, "Alaska is praying for those on board, their loved ones, and the team at Security Aviation," end quotes. The NTSB is now investigating the cause of the crash. New developments now. Today, investigators are giving an update after a mid-air crash in Pennsylvania, all caught on camera. A pilot died after his small plane collided with a police helicopter at the airport. ABC's Olivia Rubin describing what investigators are saying today.
New details today after a fatal mid-air crash between a police helicopter and a small plane. The horrific moment caught on camera. These still images showing before and after the impact.
The video evidence we have show that it was flying in an unusual attitude and for reasons unknown flew off the right side of the runway 28, and impacted the helicopter.
The NTSB today saying new evidence collected from the scene, including data cards from both aircraft and new videos of the crash. The pilot of the Cessna plane, 55-year-old Dr. Paul Sokolowski, killed after it collided into the back of the helicopter shortly after 7 p.m. on Wednesday. Investigators saying they don't know why.
The helicopter was not over the runway at all. It was over the grass area, well off the runway surface. Shortly after that, the Cessna 150, which appeared to be out of control at that point, slammed into the tail rotor, the tail boom, and the main rotor blades.
The trooper and the corporal inside the helicopter were both injured and expected to recover. The corporal pulling his colleague out of the wreck.
The corporal was in a position to push out a window and assist the trooper who he believed had some more serious injuries and had a lot of bleeding.
Investigators also saying witnesses said the two pilots were in communication before this crash, though there's no recording of those conversations. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, Washington.
Right now, the Nebraska Democratic Party is providing insight into a major appeal. Here at home, the Nebraska Democratic Party is providing insight into that major appeal. It's challenging a judge's decision allowing the new Working People Party to appear on the November ballots, but not for the reason you might think. The argument is the Working People Party is too similar to the Working Families Party, which violates a Nebraska state law. It says a new political party cannot include the name or any word of existing political party. At this time, there is no word whether this case will go taken to the Nebraska Supreme Court, which is the Democratic Party's goal. The Nebraska Republican Party is appealing it as well, but Democratic Party Chair Dan Kleb says, quote, the judge's decision is not a win for the spoiler party. It is proof the law has a hole big enough to drive money through, which is bad for our collective democracy, end quote. Excuse me. We'll keep you up to date when we learn what the Working People Party has to say about this case's appeals. Still to come this morning, dwindling drinks. A new study finds that American drinking is at a record low, while the public is lowering their alcohol intake and how it compares to previous years. Drinking is at an all-time low. For the past 2 years, 54% of people that live in the U.S. are reporting having an occasional alcoholic beverage. That's the lowest reported amount since this survey started back in 1939. The study says that 13% of Americans report they sometimes drink too much, and in 1989, that number was 35%. A reason? Well, 86% say they have heard about the long-term health effects of drinking. The study saying drinking alcohol can increase the chance of certain cancers, and the American Cancer Society found that those who have more than 14 drinks a week have a 25% higher risk of developing colorectal cancer. New developments, big accolades from one of Nebraska's leading medical institutions. State leaders welcoming HHA Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to Omaha. He toured the UNMC facility where 18 Americans were quarantined earlier this year. Channel 8's Daniel Da Silva reports.
After his tour of the quarantine unit here at UNMC, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. spent most of his time at the podium thanking Governor Pillen, Dr. Gold, and other Nebraska state leaders for the work they've done in monitoring and containing the hantavirus back in May. After that, he drove home major health initiatives that he says Nebraska will help lead the way in. Here are some of those points. Nutrition to vaccines, Secretary Kennedy starting with thanks for UNMC's job with the 18 Americans exposed to the hantavirus.
Nebraska Medicine and UNMC received them at the National Quarantine Unit, protected the public, cared for the people involved, and completed the operation with 0 detected cases. That is preparedness. We are now in the process of standing up a biocontainment center in Kenya, and the peer review for readiness will be done by people at this facility.
Then pointing out America's success in containing measles cases amidst global outbreaks, attributing that to the country's willingness to vaccinate, praising the newly released vaccine schedule for kids by the Trump administration. Despite that, Kennedy saying American children are some of the unhealthiest in the world when it comes to nutrition, but praising Nebraska's emphasis on food as medicine and removing POP from SNAP benefits before talking about Nebraska's role in his newest health initiative.
Almost 80 institutions of higher education across 36 states have committed to strengthening nutrition education, reaching over 52,000 medical students this autumn. And Nebraska helped lead that effort from the beginning.
The best practices in the world are being developed by the people here. It might seem astonishing to some, not at all to me.
We'll link to more details at klcantv.com. Reporting from UNMC here in Omaha, Danielle De Silva, Channel 8 News.
Rather quiet currently across the state, but there's still some isolated storms out there, and that could mess with the severe weather potential. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a few.
Since 1962, Friedman Law has taken on insurance companies for our clients and fought hard for the fair compensation they deserved. Call us or chat online today. No obligation, just information.
As you examine the road ahead, are all your ducks in a row? Pre-planning with Butheris, Macer, and Love Funeral Home.
Bring the outdoors in with a custom sunroom. More light, more space, and year-round comfort. Perfect for relaxing or entertaining. Designed for your home and built for every season. Call ABC Seamless of Nebraska today and let the sun shine.
KLKN is bringing you the best quality newscast. Whether it's breaking news, community concerns, or the stories shaping our future, we're committed to keeping you informed every step of the way. Our team is always there, bringing you the most comprehensive local coverage, dedicated to serving our community and bringing Lincoln nothing but the best. When you need local, trustworthy news, the answer is simple. KLKN, bringing you Nebraska now.
Why did Pete Ricketts spend millions to get himself appointed to the U.S. Senate? Ricketts knows D.C. is pay to play. Since going to D.C., Ricketts has increased his net worth almost 30%. He voted to lower his own taxes and made a killing dumping shares before a looming government shutdown. Meanwhile, he's opposed every serious attempt to ban congressional stock trading. Nebraskans can't afford lawmakers enriching themselves while our costs go through the roof. Tell Senator Ricketts to support the Ban Congressional Stock Trading Act now.
Since 1962, Friedman Law has taken on insurance companies for our clients and fought hard for the fair compensation they deserved. Call us or chat online today. No obligation, just information.
Developing now, areas around the country are cleaning up after dangerous storms. Terrible damage from some of those storms. Take a look at the overnight destruction in Dover, Delaware. A tornado reportedly ripping these buildings apart. Now the eastern half of the country is bracing for even more thunderstorms. ABC's Morgan Norwood is in hard-hit Atlantic Beach, New York, with more.
Hi there. A waterspout came roaring ashore here on Atlantic Beach, and what a rare place for a tornado at that. You're taking a look at some of the damage here lining this walkway. Most of this is just splintered wood that peeled away from the roofs when that powerful waterspout came roaring ashore. And if you look straight ahead, you can also see part of the roof peeled away here as well. About 100 people were here at the time, one person suffering a minor head injury. But now this beach club is cleaning up after those powerful storm systems lashed the northeast. In Summit, New Jersey, lightning striking the chimney of this home, starting a fire in the attic. And farther south, a suspected tornado tore through the city of Dover, Delaware, sending debris flying and leaving behind a trail of destruction there. This dash camera video also capturing the frightening scene as this powerful storm moved through. Residents even caught off guard trying to race to take shelter. 2 hotels badly damaged there, pieces of the building wrapped around power lines. We also know this severe weather system disrupted air travel, canceling more than 800 flights and delaying about 6,000 more. And back here on Long Island, the National Weather Service expected here today to survey some of the damage you see here to determine how powerful that tornado was. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Atlantic Beach, New York.
Now, Your Storm Alert Team forecast with meteorologist Houston Hall.
Taking a look outside, this is looking towards downtown, towards the north. Got a little bit of cloud cover, mostly in the upper levels and some mid-level clouds. There is some storms out towards the north of us. It's 80. We got a dew point of 70. That feels like 83 degrees. Here's a look at that little line of isolated thunderstorms from just outside of Norfolk down here towards just east of Columbus. And that's moving towards Wahoo. None of this is severe, just probably a quick downpour, maybe some gusty winds. You can see the clouds are moving right towards Omaha due to that little movement of the clouds. But other than that, we could see a little bit of southward movement. North Lincoln might see a quick downpour here within the next 30 minutes to an hour. Check this out. Off towards the west, just southeast of North Platte, we have these isolated storms which are moving their way down towards the southeast. You see that cloud right there? That's an outflow boundary. That usually is just the winds making some cloud tops as it makes a upper level motion. So that actually might mess with our severe potential going into the overnight hours. Here's a look at the state. Isolated storms here, isolated showers and thunderstorms there, all moving down towards the southeast. Here's a look at the storm field. You can see it's starting to build out there, so we could see a little bit more storms here. We could have a small chance. Let's check it out. Here in the next few hours, these storms could possibly move towards the east. Those isolated thunderstorms that we're seeing just north of us could be in our area about 1, 2, 2:30 p.m. This evening, could see those storms that were off towards the west be right around here near the Tri-Cities area. And that's, I think, going to be the best chance for a little bit of isolated thunderstorm activity. Just some gusty winds, maybe even just some small hail. We could get in on some of that as we go into this evening, 5 to 7 p.m. A little bit of intensification as we go into past sunset, that is, 8 to 10 p.m. Notice out towards the west, though, where there's those storms currently, and not much out there, just some gusty winds from these storms that will form as we go into the overnight hours, midnight to 2 a.m. Large hail could be associated with some of those, and especially the damaging wind threat stretching from about north of Grand Island down towards the south, going into about 2, 3 a.m. Lincoln, we could see a little bit of rain, some thunderstorm activity as we go into about 3 a.m. That's all moving down towards the southeast through your Saturday morning, about 4 to 7 a.m. Still tracking maybe the stronger storms a little out towards Grand Island and southward towards the Nebraska-Kansas border. So here it is. The best chance for a little bit of more gusty winds, 70 to 75 miles per hour, will be across southwest and western Nebraska. We could see about 55, 65 mile per hour wind gusts here further east. And then the hail threat, that's really going to come tonight. We could see a few storms, potential of golf ball, maybe even tennis ball size hail. Rainfall potential, you can see, better chance is going to be right around here, off down towards the southeast and south of I-80. Right now, temperatures in the upper 70s, lower 80s, where that rain was, 76 and 73 degrees. For the rest of today, we'll hang right in the low to mid 80s before, if we get some rain, we'll most likely cool down to the 70s rather quickly. All right, so we got the same weather pattern all through the next about 5 days, up and down between 80 to 87 degrees. Storm chances look to be staying off towards the west as we go towards the next 72 hours, and then we'll look to be a quieter pattern.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much, Houston. Coming up after the break, addressing backlash, how a skincare giant is finally responding to criticism following Hayden Panettiere's death.
What is Spectrum Internet? It's secure internet for you and
illness that affects almost 500,000 women a year, postpartum depression. Now, 2 high-profile cases are putting a spotlight on the condition as a nationally recognized company apologized how it dealt with it. Here's ABC's Andrea Fujii.
This morning, Neutrogena is addressing days of backlash over how it treated Hayden Panettiere. Earlier this year, Panettiere said the skincare giant didn't re-sign her as a spokesperson in 2016 after she spoke openly about her postpartum depression.
When I got that call that Neutrogena wanted to fire me over that, and my representative at the time said, "That's illegal. You can't do that."
Now, in a statement, the company says we made her feel unsupported during a very difficult time. This is not what Neutrogena stands for. The brand says it's now making a significant investment to expand access to postpartum care. Panettiere's death has renewed attention on postpartum depression, a condition she spoke about candidly for years after the birth of her daughter.
I was full of stress and anxiety all the time, and what I was doing to suppress those emotions was not normal, and it was not healthy.
About 1 in 8 women experience postpartum depression in the U.S., and of those, nearly half of them are not diagnosed by a doctor. As for Hayden Panettiere's death, investigators, including the DEA, are still trying to determine how she died. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
Stay with us, everyone. Plenty more for you after the break, including building buzz. The first Nebraska football game now a little bit more than 2 weeks away. What message one player is giving Husker fans ahead of that first game?
From Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News Midday.
Breaking now, a new warning about possible bacteria contamination in our food. And this one is different than 2 other major outbreaks this year. Cyclosporiasis and Salmonella, both linked to products at Taylor Farms, and both impacted us here in Nebraska. But this outbreak is rarer than others in the 2 different pathogens. ABC's Yori Benajat explains what you need to know.
It is yet another food outbreak. This time, health officials in Wisconsin and Minnesota are warning of sprouts that may have been contaminated with E. coli or Salmonella. Both states are reporting at least 41 illnesses so far, including 3 hospitalizations. The sprouts come from Everything Sprouts, a Minnesota grower that had previously been warned by the FDA of insanitary conditions at their facility. Violations included fluid from the roof dripping onto produce, a buildup of black matter on irrigation hoses, and a buildup of white matter on plastic sheets covering produce. It remains unclear if other states may also be impacted from the outbreak. E. coli and salmonella are both bacteria that can cause food poisoning symptoms, including diarrhea, stomach cramps, and sometimes vomiting or low fever. Health officials are warning to throw away contaminated products. Those more at risk of severe illness include young children, older adults, and those with weakened immune systems. Health officials say anyone experiencing a long-lasting fever or an inability to keep food or water down for more than a few days should visit their doctor. Yuri Benajad, ABC News, New York.
And if you're just joining us, we are tracking the threat of severe weather again this afternoon and evening. Here's a live look now at current conditions on our ABC Seamless camera. Seems pretty calm and chill out there right now. We got sunny skies and temperature-wise, not too bad out there either. Let's get to meteorologist Houston Hall, though. He's got an updated timeline for us here. Good morning, Houston.
Good morning. Yeah, if we look towards the north, we got a little bit of cloud cover. That's all due to a few isolated storms, which are currently just north of us. Beatrice, they're seeing a little more sunshine than upper level clouds. There's these little isolated storms just to the north of Lincoln near Wahoo, and you can see a little bit of increasing cloud cover entering northwest Lancaster County. But it looks like Cotterell and Wahoo, West Point getting in on a little bit of a heavy downpour, most likely. Maybe a few lightning strikes here and there. Broken Bow, that storm is currently going through you. That is actually the strongest of the storms that we have currently outside. Arapahoe getting in on a little bit of thunderstorm activity here within the next 15 minutes. There's a look at your risk for today. A level 2 slight risk northwest to southeast. And some of this morning convection actually might mess with the severe weather potential for areas across the state later this afternoon and evening. Hey, temperature-wise, 70s and 80s, and we are moist. We got dew points in the 60s and 70s all across Nebraska. Here's a look at what these storms could possibly look like as we go into the next few hours. I would say there's about 2 to 4 p.m. some scattered to isolated showers and thunderstorms in and around the Tri-Cities area, and then also eastern Nebraska. That will kind of linger into the first half of tonight, and then overnight things will stay from about North Platte and eastward, carrying some large hail and damaging winds. And I'll show you the whole impact forecast in a few.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Houston. And President Trump says he's about to crush Iran's economy, declaring what he calls an economic D-Day. ABC's Karen Hua reports.
This morning, President Trump declaring a new kind of warfare against Iran, what he calls an economic D-Day. Vice President J.D. Vance saying extra sanctions will punish Iran for cutting off the Strait of Hormuz.
To ensure that the Iranians pay a price for trying to choke off international oil and gas trade.
On social media, the president also threatening Iran's allies, saying, quote, any country that allows its financial institutions, businesses, airports, or government entities to provide any type of lifeline to Iran will itself face tremendous economic consequences. It's unclear if Trump is ready to punish Iran's top trading partner, China.
Having secondary sanctions increase could have more of an effect and potentially push Iran back to the negotiation table.
Iran's foreign minister responded, saying Trump's threats are a distraction from America's record high national debt and other problems. As the war with Iran goes into month 7, we've learned the USS Abraham Lincoln is finally sailing home after a record 272-day deployment as part of operations against Iran. Many reported deplorable conditions and sailor suicide attempts on the warship. Democrats criticizing Trump for his lack of concern about troops on the ship.
I would have hoped that since he's never been forward deployed, since he's never put on the uniform and sacrifice for this country, that he would have more compassion for the people who are willing to.
Meanwhile, the United Arab Emirates is also putting economic pressure on Iran, announcing an indefinite trade embargo. Karen Hua, ABC News, Washington.
And gas prices are up once again here with the turmoil overseas. Citizen journalist Melanie sending us this video on our Now Local News app of Costco gas prices. These are usually a little cheaper because they go to members that pay a month or a yearly fee. According to AAA, though, Nebraska is averaging just over $4 a gallon at $4.05. The national average is back to $4.10. How will this change next week? Well, you can tune into our 5 and 6 o'clock morning shows for Gas Buddy's latest report on Monday. Right now, UNMC is celebrating the ribbon cutting of their new urgent care dental clinic. They say this clinic will ensure people with timely access to dental care when they need it the most. Here's a look at that ribbon cutting and a little of their new facility on East Campus. They say medical emergency departments just aren't equipped to handle dental emergencies and can leave Nebraskans with a lot of money to pay. But with this new facility, they're hoping to not just improve access to care, but make it more affordable for people as well. Don't forget, all the Kansas City Chiefs preseason games will be right here on Channel 8. Their next game is tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All the Chiefs preseason games will be exclusively airing on our channel, so make sure you don't miss out on the action. Developing now, LFR and other first responders in Lincoln are kicking off preparations for 9/11 commemorations. Some of those who helped in search and rescue efforts after a tragedy on 9/11 are speaking out, and includes some of our heroes from home. Our Skylar Sears spoke with them and is sharing their memories.
25 years ago, Mark Majors had only been with Nebraska Task Force 1 for about a year. When the September 11th attacks happened, he knew right away he wanted to help.
Like most first responders and everything we do, we want to be there. We want to be in the right place at the right time to just lend some assistance. I think we all kind of had that anxiety, like, let's go. We really wanted to go and just do whatever we could to help.
About 10 days later, he was deployed to New York on his very first deployment with the task force. The bus ride into Lower Manhattan is still etched in his memory.
Coming through the tunnel and seeing large signs there was one sign that said New York City closed. Imagine driving down Interstate 80 and you're traveling through Iowa, and you get to the border and you see a sign that says Nebraska closed. Turn around and go back, and there's security and checkpoints, and you're not going anywhere. It was really surreal to kind of see things like that.
The team first provided rescue coverage around the city, while local crews worked at Ground Zero. About a week later, Majors began working 12-hour shifts at the site, where his role included providing logistical support and rescue if needed. He says seeing the scale of the destruction in person is something he'll never forget.
We saw what we saw on TV, but I mean, as with any disaster, when you physically get there, and now you have depth and complexity of what you're looking at, the depth and the size and the height and the width of the disaster of Ground Zero downtown was something that will never escape my mind.
Reporting in Lincoln, Skylar Sears, Channel 8 News.
Husker football gearing up for the season opener now just 15 days away. Today we're going to hear from the defensive coordinator Rob Ork will be speaking to the media after practice. One of his top linebackers heading into this season with a special message for Husker Nation at fall camp.
We cannot wait to see you guys here September 5th for our first game. It's going to be great. We're really excited to start playing. Even more excited to see you guys come out. Appreciate you. Go Big Red.
Owen Chambliss will be one of the top players for the Big Red this year. Sports director Will Charlton is following everything coming out of fall camp. He'll be asking Rob Ork today when he plans to announce the black shirts and what that tradition means to him being new to the program. Hear that report tonight at 6. Also happening tonight, a 4-time Emmy Award-winning comedian is performing in the capital city. John Mulaney is performing a comedy set tonight at the Pinewood Bowl. That event starts at 8 with special guest Mike Birbiglia and is part of his Mr. Whatever tour. John Mulaney is an Emmy, Critics' Choice, and WGA award-winning writer, comedian, and actor. Most recently, he can be seen as the host and writer of the Netflix talk show Everybody's Live with John Mulaney. Still to come, price relief, what Walmart is trying to do to make it easier for shoppers.
My hobby.
in 6 years. And it comes as low-income shoppers keep a closer eye on their spending. Now, the retailer is promising to use its massive tariff refund to bring prices down on thousands of items. Here's ABC's Lionel Moyes.
This morning, some relief may be coming for your grocery bill. Walmart says it's putting its $2.9 billion tariff refund toward lower prices. The retail giant says its customers are feeling squeezed, especially by gas prices above $4 a gallon.
You can tell when fuel prices increase and got above $4, and perhaps there's a psychological impact to that there are choices that consumers are making.
This as families continue to grapple with high prices.
We spending a lot of money, but even with smaller bags, but we'll make it work.
You go where you can get your bargains and save some money.
Grocery prices are shaping up as a key midterm issue, and President Trump campaigned on bringing them down. On the campaign trail in 2024, he stood in front of a table of groceries to make the point.
You're paying $148 more a month on food.
In a new statement, the White House says the president has implemented policies that have brought prices of key essentials ranging from prescription drugs to eggs to auto insurance down in historic ways. But a new poll finds 41% of Americans are concerned about being able to afford groceries over the next few months, up from 24% in April.
It's really compounding effects of people feeling concerned about prices from healthcare and housing and groceries and gas all hitting them at the same time.
Some relief could soon be on the way. The Trump administration announced it will end the summer blend requirement 2 weeks early to boost supply and cut prices at the pump. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
Now, for your Storm Alert Team forecast with meteorologist Houston Hall.
Well, I know I just started this off last time, but you can kind of see a little better. These clouds right here over downtown Lincoln. Yep, these are thunderstorm cloud tops, which are currently up towards our north. Here it is. We are starting to see a little bit of intensification. You can see that pink right there. Just east of Columbus, maybe a little bit of a heavy downpour, pea-sized hail possible, but these are all isolated thunderstorms moving through Wahoo here within the next 30 minutes. And that's all drifting right down here towards the southeast. Could see a little bit of another isolated thunderstorm right here on the western side. So Lincoln, we could be seeing an isolated shower, rumble of thunder here within the next hour and a half as all of this activity goes through Wahoo and then splits right between Lincoln and Omaha. Would not be surprised. We do have a decent chance to see a little bit of thunderstorm activity in the next hour or two. You go off towards the west, check out these little clouds right here. You can see they just drift down towards the south. That's an outflow boundary associated with these storms from Broken Bow down towards Arapahoe. Those are rather weak in nature, if anything, just bringing some winds to areas like Kearney. And that could actually hinder some severe weather potential as we go into the overnight hours. There's our cold front right here. You can kind of see clouds just forming right along that cold front. The storms drifting down towards the south. That's our lifting mechanism going into the evening and overnight hours. Taking a look in the next hour or two, you can see those isolated storms in and around southeast Nebraska. That isolated activity out towards North Platte and Broken Bow, that will continue to drift down towards the southeast. Now that could spark a little bit of scattered to widespread showers and thunderstorms right around the Tri-Cities area, even here across southeast Nebraska. Now some of these storms could have some gusty winds and some hail, but really I think the peak severe weather will begin after sunset tonight. Here's 9 to 11 p.m. Still that scattered to isolated thunderstorm activity out towards the Tri-Cities. That's going to be our development right out here. You notice where that storm and that outflow boundary was, southwest Nebraska? Not much going to happen there. It's going to be really east of that line. All the way up towards Valentine, midnight, 2 a.m. This is where your large hail and damaging wind threat will begin. About from just north of Broken Bow down here towards Grand Island. That storm will drift down towards the south. So watching areas just south of there for some gusty winds. That's 4, 5 a.m. all across southeast Nebraska. Better chance looks to be right out here towards the west of Lincoln, but still some decent thunderstorm and even some heavy rainfall. There's that damaging wind threat, and then as we go into the hail threat, golf ball to tennis ball, that's going to happen tonight. You can see the better potential for some heavier rain down here towards Broken Bow, areas south and east of that line. Right now, it's about the upper 70s, low to mid 80s, and temperatures will stay right around there. That cold front will slightly edge its way closer, bringing us that storm potential tonight. AM rain across southeast Nebraska for your Saturday. Other than that, the sun will come out, and then Sunday, storms possible. We cool down there as that cold front finally advances through. And then we'll stay about 80 to 85, 87 degrees with some periodic rain and storm chances next week.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much, Houston. Still to Ken. An expensive return. How much Prince Harry is going to have to pay after losing his news gathering case, and what this means for his return to his home country.
Many abused and neglected animals are hungry and need help right now. Many animals are starving, wondering if food will ever come, with the unbearable pain that comes with that, and they need our help.
There are animals that have no idea when their next meal will come. They can't even remember when their last meal was. And they are moments from dying.
So I'm here to ask you, will you open your heart to help an animal who's hungry? Go online, call, or simply scan this code and donate just $19 a month. You'll help feed a hungry animal. That's just 63 cents a day to fill their empty bowl and show them the love in your heart.
There are empty bowls that are sitting there waiting to be filled. You can tell that these dogs are so weak from hunger. They've known no other life but a life of suffering.
No animal should have to go hungry. And with your support today, you will help feed a hungry animal. You can fill their bowl, but you have to make your urgent life-saving gift today. So please join in the next 10 minutes. And if you do, we'll send you this free welcome kit to thank you for helping an animal today.
There's always an empty bowl on the ground that should have food in it. And it's very clear from the appearance of these dogs that that bowl hasn't had food in it for a long time.
We urgently need 3,000 new donors in the next 30 days. Please say you'll be one of them by signing up today. No animal should ever go hungry, and I know you agree. Please make this the moment that you say, I won't stand by while they suffer. Help fill their bowl too. Go online, call, or scan this code right now.
Developing now, Prince Harry and 6 other defendants must make an official payments of around $13 million. The publisher of the Daily Mail. It's in a case they lost over alleged illegal news gathering. It comes as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are planning their return after spending years in the U.S. ABC's Perry Russum has the story.
Days after a surprise royal return was announced for Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan, Harry and 6 other defendants, including Elton John, learning they must pay an initial £9.5 million, nearly $13 million, by the end of the month. The money will go to Associated Newspapers, which publishes the Daily Mail, after Harry and others lost a case over alleged invasion of privacy. Privacy is a key focus for the Sussexes, who are now working with the UK's media regulator, asking outlets to respect their need for privacy regarding where they will be living and where their children will go to school. According to The Telegraph, Harry and Meghan, along with their 2 children, are planning to move later this month to a private non-royal residence outside London. The paper reports the children are already enrolled in British schools for next month. A source familiar with the matter says there are no plans for them to return as working royals. But there are now reports Meghan could be making a return to acting after they move back to the UK. The Sussexes team is not commenting.
It kind of sheds maybe a bit more light on perhaps their reasonings for wanting to come here, a factor in that decision making, and also sheds more light on the kind of thing that Meghan could be doing while she is here.
The couple left the royal life in 2020 and moved to California. Relations with the family strained. While the royal family has stayed publicly silent about the return, some of the British public is sounding off.
Maybe he's just truly British at the end of the day and he just misses home.
Harry lost his automatic police protection when he stepped down from his royal duties. He challenged that in court. British Prime Minister Annie Burnham says the couple's security will be a private matter. Perry Russum, ABC News, New York.
Still ahead, a booking debacle. Experts are warning of a new hotel scam popping up for last-minute summer vacations.
Which room in your
The summer vacation season winds down. Be careful when choosing a hotel because you might not be getting what you think you're booking. ABC's Will Reeve explains the concern right now.
When I walked in, I looked at my sister and I was like, this is it. This is the hotel.
Ariana Patino thought she made a reservation at this hotel, Palette Las Vegas, for a fun weekend with her sister. But when the pair arrived, they couldn't find the address listed on their confirmation.
So we actually drive around for like 45 minutes trying to figure out where this hotel is. And the nearest parking lot I pulled into, and it was Oyo.
That is Oyo Hotel and Casino, a spot Ariana says she purposely avoided booking because of negative reviews.
And as soon as I walked in the doors, I recognized where it had the registration sign. On Palette Las Vegas, on the booking site, it had Oyo's name with the exact same registration desk. And that's when it kind of like clicked.
The photos she thought were of Palette Las Vegas were actually the same or edited versions of the Oyo Hotel and Casino.
We went up to the receptionist and I'm like, we booked with Palette Las Vegas. And she goes, yep, that's us. They just put up different listings or different ads just to see which one gains more traction.
I've never seen anything as brazen as this. There are times where hotels will go through a rebrand, where they go from one brand in a big chain to another. This was essentially trying to dupe guests.
In a statement to ABC News, Oyo Hotel and Casino said, we were evaluating how different blocks or room categories could be positioned under different brands. However, the listing went live while the related renovations and signage at the property were still being completed. We sincerely regret the confusion and inconvenience caused. Ariana filed a complaint with Booking.com where she made her reservation, her bank, and the Better Business Bureau. Booking.com telling ABC News in a statement, the Palette Las Vegas has been removed from our platform following an internal investigation. A refund is currently being processed for the guest.
I think this crossed the boundary and this crossed the line. I mean, this is where I'm sleeping, this is where I'm staying, and I don't think corporations like that should be able to get away with something like that.
Will Reeve, ABC News, New York.
And before we go to break, here's a live look outside at our Barry Law Tower camera. We're going to have a final check of the forecast coming up next.